Alright. Excuse me, what's up everybody? I am Hasty Steve here, and today we're going to start our little Miary guide. So while I'm still figuring stuff out with Miary, I'm still going to put up a little basic guide of what I know from playing her for the first few days of her release. I've been taking her to rank a few times. I'm still learning some stuff with her, so this will be a little guide to get you guys started on Miary. So I plan to do like some more high-level guides in the near future once I figure more stuff out with her. So right now, this will be going over her basic tools, her game plan, and what you should be doing to get you guys started. So what does Miary originate from? As we all know, she is from Madagascar. From this look at the stage right here. Released early access on the 1st, officially released on Wednesday, the 3rd. So excuse me. So right off the jump, what is her game plan? So there's actually many different ways you can actually play her. So you can play her like some rushdown. You can play her gimmicky. There's many ways to actually play Miary's, but some which you're gonna have to play a little bit stylish. So you can also play a little bit of rushdown. So her gameplay is she wants to be more in your face, like she's basically like constant rushdown. She wants to keep her turn, to keep the pressure going. So right at the jump, what does she have to get herself going? So if you press forward 3, she has a little thing called more stance. As you can see, she does a little slide forward. It is actually able to crush highs, as you're about to see right here. And as you can see, this move right here is actually one of her moves. Actually goes to her stance 1-1-2. And as you guys just saw, you have enough time to go into the more stance to get your opponent to the situation where if the power crush is a high, you can easily duck through it, and you can actually set up for a launcher. Actually, so let me go and set Paul up to do his power crush. Whoops! Get there in time. Set up a lot of stuff from it actually. There's like many different ways like you can go about like the punching, but of course there's better ways, or you can do like the ball rising 2 punish. There's like many things that stance can do. So more stance, what do you have out of more stance? So as you see, you have 1-1-2, which is a heat engager mid-high. So the problem is it is actually a high, but you can actually hit confirm it. As you guys, so that's the not hit confirm version. This is what happens if you actually do hit confirm it. That way, if they try to punish you, like try to jab you out, you can actually beat out the option. And yeah, free heat right there. So what else does she have in more sense? She has a low, more 4. She has a little bit of an extension. However, if they do duck, you do want to be careful about more 4 because this is a low high string and it doesn't jail. So if you're using this way too much, they can actually punch you and you can die for it. So you have to be careful about when you're doing more 4. But as you can see, it's a decent natural combo. 24 damage. And what else does she have? She has more 2. More uppercut. And this actually has some ground options for Oki. You can do the guaranteed 1+2. Down 1+2, I mean. 2. However, the preferred option is down 1+2. More damage. Actually, I think. And it does. You can actually do different things with this. It all depends on what you want to do. So, let's see. Also with this, you can actually transition to our other stance, which is the pole stance. I like to call it the bow stance, the staff. And there's different things you can do with that too. You have the controversial leap. The reason why I say it's controversial is because of the sound she makes. People are saying this is the most annoying sound, but I think it's too cute. So what can you do with this? This can actually approach if you're conditioning, if you're trying to approach from like a very, very, very far distance. So like for instance, like say you're like very far from the opponent, you actually can set up some setups, like some bait. Because one of her moves right here is actually very long range. As you can see right here, she has a launcher, which hits very, very far range. Really good if you're like trying to keep the distance and like trying to bait your opponent to like whiff. But you do want to be careful with this right here because it is launch punishable. But she also has decent moves from the stance. She has about 4 sweep. Another move you want to be careful of because that is launch punishable. But there is a cross setup you can do. But however, it does take a little bit of time to like get down, and it is a very inconsistent move. So keep that in mind. So keep that in mind if you're trying to go into the high level with Miary and you're trying to set this up, because like I said, it is inconsistent. And what else does she have? She has Bound 3, which is that big giant sweep, hell sweep. Heat engage. This one is actually probably decent because on blocking, you actually get decent pushback actually. Actually, let me set him to blocking. Let me go to stand block. Okay, let me see. Where is defense at? There's defense, but let's see. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me real quick. Opponent action, stand block. There it is. Standing block. There we go. As you're about to see, it does give decent pushback too. So this can also be used to actually pressure your opponent actually. However, you do sacrifice your turn if you do this move. So do keep that in mind. If you're keeping the pressure, do keep in mind you are -9 and you will lose your turn. So there's many conditioning you have to do when it comes to like keeping your pressure with Miary's. So let's see what else do we have. You can also do, if you hold forward, you actually can go into more stands like that too. Another great way to keep the pressure going if you're able to keep the distance. So now that I cover some stuff, let's go over some of her strengths and weaknesses. I'm going to start with the weakness first. So one of her biggest weaknesses is she's very vulnerable to sidestep left. So she's very weak to her left side. So if you can like manage to like keep her and so weak to sidestep, and what else? While she does have good lows, they're not the best. The sweep is probably the most launch punishable move, but some strength she actually has is a big key move right here is forward 3-4. Excuse me, forward 4. Yeah, English. Excuse me. It's forward 4-2. Why is that move very strong? It's strong because with the 2, you have to dictate where you swing at the opponent with that big giant like claw attack with snakes. It actually changes the direction on the wall splat, actually. You can put them like very, very close to the wall for like wall splat. So like say you want your opponent like very close to the wall or you want to keep them away. Because another stance she actually had, or it's not really a stance, more of an evasion tool, because she is also very evasive, is back 3+4, up 3+4, or down 3+4. Now what does that move do? So, it's actually one of her big evasion moves. Because while she does want to be up close to your opponent while keeping the pressure. You can also use this to actually put in some evasion too. And let me go to the wall. And as you're about to see, if she's close to the wall, she will actually cling onto the wall. So do keep that in mind when you're trying to set up like a little wall pressure actually. So yeah, if she's very close to the wall, she will cling to the wall, and I think she has a few moves out of that too. One being Wing Cling 4, which is actually a very strong armor break leap kick. Does a decent amount of damage and is plus, I think it's plus 10? Yeah, you're plus 10. So that's very strong. Which you can actually set up some Oki if you want. So you keep that in mind. Or you can set up I think you can set up some cross-ups, I think. So yeah, the wall cling is very strong if you can use it properly. And then some other strength she has is for down forward 1 is 13 frames, so traditional down forward 1. Very great fighting tool. And yeah, what other weaknesses does she have? She's also very linear, so a lot of her good moves too, you can actually sidestep a lot of her big moves. The only big move I would be careful at sidestepping is forward 2. Because like I dictate where that move goes. So do keep that in mind. If your opponent is obsessed with sidestepping you, and you want to make sure you keep them guessing on which way you think they're going to step, you can change the direction of where this move sends your opponent. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're fighting like people that love to sidestep. Or down forward 2 also actually covers her weak spot too, I think. Part of it actually. But if they're trying to sidestep you over and over and over, you can down forward 2 to your advantage actually. It's a traditional safe down forward 2. So safe on block, and it covers her weakness. The only weakness her down forward 2 has, it doesn't launch crouching opponents. So yeah, if the opponent likes a crouch lock, be careful about using down forward 2. Because they can't punish it because it's not punishable. But yeah, it doesn't launch crouching opponents. So keep that in mind. Alright. Now to go over her punishes. So your basic 10 frame punish is gonna be your standard 1-1. Whoop. 1-1-2. And the good thing about that is that transitions her to her stance. So, and then another one is of course 1-2. Weak, but it's not bad. 1-1-2 is gonna be your recommended down. It's gonna be your recommended 10 frame punish. So that's your 10 frame punish right there. For 11, you got 2-2, which is the punch into the snake. It's not a bad punish, but you're pushing the opponent very far away. But like I said, you can go into the pole stance, and you can probably set up some range to where you can set up your range 2 punish, your pole stance 2 punish. So there's many ways you can set it up. For 12 frames, you got a few things actually. You have back 1 forward, the simple knockback punish. And as course, you can also do down. Excuse me, hiccups. 2-2 as well. So back 1-4 is a good punish. But I think that's her best 12 frame punish. Oh no, you actually have 4-4 as well. This actually goes into the pole stance actually. So 4-4. It depends on what you want to do for your punish. If you want to go for like a knockdown situation, you can set this up fast enough. Or if you want to go into the stance and make some more pressure, you can do 4-4 and you can test their knowledge, like see what they're gonna do. Alright, so that's gonna be for her 12 frames. For 13 frames, you don't really have much. You have down forward 1-4, which again goes into the stance. What else do we have? Oh yeah, for 13 frames, we also have this heat engager. This is probably going to be your best option in terms of damage, but like I said, if you're more stance happy with Miary's and you want to set up some stance pressure, down forward 1-4 is not a bad option. Like I said, it all depends on how you want to play her and how you want to go about it. There's many ways you can play her. It's all about being creative. And then for 14 frames, she doesn't really have much, but for 14 frame, you have forward 1+2, 1+2, 3+4, which is an adorable little monkey paw attacking to the flip. And it's also actually going to be your one of her most damaging wall combos. During the end of this first part of the guide, I'm going to show some basic combos you can do with her, and then yeah. And then for 15 frames, of course, you have standard 1 down forward 2, the standard launcher, or you have up forward 4-4, which is actually her hop kick. That's also her 15 frame combo right there. So that's her punishment game right there for standing. Now for the wall rising. For 11 frames, you have wall rising 4. Wall rising 4. The standard, one of her standard 11 frame punishes. And then, I think this is 12 or 13 frames. Correct me in the comments below. But, for 13 frames, you have wall rising 1-4, which is another heat engager. And then for 15 frames or more, you have wall rising 2. So that's her wall standing punishes. So you have some decent options. Well, so she doesn't have bad punishes. They could be a little bit better, but they're not bad punishes. So yeah, there's many ways like you can actually go around playing Miary's. So yeah, like I said, it's all about being creative and on how you want to set up her game plan. Because like I said, while she is a little easy to play, on the higher levels, that's when you want to be more creative in playing her. Because at the high levels, when you get very predictable, you're just going to get blown up, and it's not going to be a good day for you. So, keep all this in mind when playing her. And then, so, let's get on to some of her combos. So, right at the jump, the most basic combo that is probably the most recommended for beginners if you're starting with Miary's, because as you're gonna level up, there's some better combos, but a good starter for Miary's is down forward 2, do all the 4s, and forward 4. Basically your typical one button combo. Not a bad get you started, but here's a little bit more of a damage combo. So you're going to start your combo with down forward 2, and then you're going to do, this is what I do. A lot of the starter players do. They also do up 3, then down forward 4, more stance, up 1+2. So it's going to look like this. And then I like to do 4-4. That's the basic tail spin. So this is what the combo's going to look like so far. Whoops. So that's going to be the bread and butter right here at the start. Now for what people call the difficult part of the combo is after the tailspin, you're gonna want to do back three, forward two. But you want, as in the tornado, you want the three to whiff, so that the forward two connects. And then with that, that's all going to go into for more stance. And then there's many ways you can do that, so it's going to look like this. So yeah, with that, you can do different options. You can go into heat to set up more damage, or you can do this if you want to like keep it simple. So here's what the combo's going to look like all together. And that's going to be the basic bread and butter combo right there to get you started. Like I said, as you level up, you're going to find there's going to be more damaging combos as you level up your Miary Zo. And like I said, there's many ways you can go for combos. Like you can go for staple damage, you can go for heats, you can go for heat combos. There's also some Oki setups too you can do with her. But I'm going to cover all that in another guide once I figure out more of her gameplay, because like I said, this is still something to get me started, for everyone to get started with, for those that are trying to pick up Miaris. So that's going to be the basic part of the guide right here. And then I'm going to set up like an intermediate guide later on, once I get more game plan with her figured out. So with that, that's going to be the end of the part 1 guide for Miaris. If I missed anything, leave it in the comments below, and I will happily take some notes. So have a good rest of your day.